The Democrat Party had an incredible night for elections. I see a lot of Republicans online complaining, feeling completely caught off guard, like they didn't know that this was going to happen. So while there's a lot of wailing and Trump remains popular, I want to walk you guys through exactly what I think happened. Now, I noticed a lot of YouTubers were putting out stories that Mamdani was going to lose, that New Jersey was going to go to the Republicans, that Virginia would be swept. Well, none of that was true. So let me walk you through this as I try to tell you the truth of what really happened. Now, I figured that Virginia might go to Democrats because Glenn Youngkin barely won last time, and it's mostly a Democrat state because of all of the different NGOs and government workers that are mostly Democrats. Also, President Trump wasn't on the ballot, and neither was a Trump MAGA candidate. Now, I think Miss Winsome Sears is a good woman, but in the past, she had mocked Donald Trump and was not MAGA. Therefore, she got no help from President Trump or even the RNC. Over in New Jersey, Republicans lost. They had a great candidate. I think Ciattarelli was a great guy, but Democrat Mikie Sherrill, she was hitting all of the talking points that Democrats wanted to hear. On top of that, data out in October of 2025 confirms that there were 860,000 more Democrats registered to vote than there were Republicans. This is the data that should have been used to tell you guys the truth. Now, independents, a 35% of the voters were likely leaning more Democrat because of the government shutdown. Even President Trump this morning said, you guys, the shutdown has hurt us, and we might need to get rid of the filibuster in order to win going forward. This is something that President Biden tried to do. All right, now switching to the mayor election in New York City. Democrat Socialist Assemblyman Zoran Mamdani has won the mayoral race, defeating former Governor Andrew Cuomo and Curtis Sliwa. Mamdani entered Election Day ahead of everybody. In fact, there was basically Polymarkets. Everybody said that this guy was going to win. Yet I saw YouTubers saying, oh, he's slipping. Oh, there's a scandal. When in reality, none of that was going to stop Democrats from voting, right? Like they voted in Jay John, the guy that dreamt about having his political opponent killed and seeing the tears of his children. Democrats don't care about that stuff. Republicans do. Now, according to Breitbart News, Mamdani's agenda was raising taxes by $9 billion, going after white people, seizing the means of production, eliminating billionaires, defunding the NYPD, ending the gang database, blocking federal immigration enforcement, creating city-run grocery stores, and replacing police with mental health team crisis respondents. So Mamdani won. I'm not shocked. Let me know in the comments. Are you? Like, did you really think a Republican was going to win New York City? Now, every Democrat on the internet is bragging about this as if we didn't know they were going to win. So don't let their gloating make you feel bad. It was inevitable. Now, I also noticed a lot of YouTubers that I trust were pumping out videos that Mamdani was going to lose. I tried to tell you guys the truth. I knew that Mamdani was going to win. I knew Democrats would likely win in Virginia and New Jersey. So, I mean, I don't think anybody should be caught off guard, but I want to show you guys how Mamdani won so that we can better understand this, because the Democrat Party is going away and they are ushering in the new Socialist Party. But I think that Fox News explained this best. So let me just help you guys understand this.
And some of the key groups that we're seeing behind the vote really telling the story here in New York City. When you break it down by age of the voter, the youth vote overwhelmingly went for Mamdani in this race. 75% of their support went to him. And when you break this down into gender, that number gets even bigger. The female youth vote, women under the age of 30, you break that down, that number goes over 80% support for Mamdani in this race. Other key findings that we're finding in the New York City mayoral race, what qualities were voters looking for in their candidate? This was a change election. 27% said they wanted to bring change to the city. And look at that. They supported Mamdani. 72% of their vote went to him. Couple other things I want to highlight here. Do you identify as a Democratic socialist? Look at this number. This is 1 out of every 4 New Yorkers who cast their ballot identified as a Democrat socialist. Of course, you click on this and you'll see their support went to Mamdani in this race, 81% of their support there. Couple other things I want to highlight here, Mamdani versus Cuomo. This was basically a question that we put to voters when they cast their ballot, that if Sliwa was not in the race, and this was just a hypothetical two-way matchup, Mamdani versus Cuomo, Brett and Martha, it gets close, but Mamdani still got the edge in that hypothetical matchup. Just a couple of things that we're taking away from all of that.
All right, so definitely Sliwa, even though he's a good dude, and he should move somewhere else and run for office, he split the vote, but Mamdani would have still won. So why was he so popular? I've been telling you this on my channel. When younger people feel like the American dream is out of reach, they start leaning towards government dependency and towards socialism. That's exactly what happened. So voters under the age of 40, they're saying, how am I going to survive? I can't afford a house. How am I supposed to compete with these illegal immigrants? I can't do it, right? So what do? They lean into the government. This is exactly what the Democrat Party wants to happen. They want you married to the government. This is what they did to the black community. They destroyed the nuclear family and they got black women married to the government. This is why the majority of Democrats are Democrats. They believe that government is the answer. So, and you saw it right there. When you broke it down by young people that were female, 81%, 8 out of 10 women said, I trust the government more than I trust capitalism. I trust the government more than I trust a man. So as we become less masculine, less able to afford stuff, what do? They turn to the government. That's exactly what the Democrat Party wants to happen. Now, let me go a little bit deeper into this because I want to point out a major lie. I had Sam Antar on. I've been trying to tell my community about this. Many are saying that Mamdani was a grassroots phenomenon, that he was against capitalism, that he was against billionaires. Yet Sam Antar and myself have been telling you this was a facade. The majority of Mamdani's money came from outside of New York and from George Soros. Yeah, from George Soros. Why wouldn't he be trying to interfere in an election that he could control and that he could weaken the nation? Now, let me just show you this. This is a photo of Alex Soros, the heir to George Soros. He took this photo before the election, but didn't post it until after Mamdani was declared the winner. So this was not grassroots. This was the Soros Open Foundation and the Soros family pretending that this guy was grassroots when in reality, they were the ones propping him up. They were absolutely propping him up. All right, now, one of Mamdani's focus was to be smiley, to say that he was going to go after white people and billionaires. But many are saying his victory speech, it was like watching a different person. He was angry, ready to bring fire to the street. He's already lining up defunding the NYPD. He doesn't want Jewish people to be able to own businesses in New York. Over 800,000 people have contacted real estate agents around the country in order to move out. But look what was shared over on CNN.
Scott?
Oh, are you saying he wasn't the unifying voice of a generation that you predicted mere moments ago. Axe, where was the man that you predicted would not slice and dice the? Look, guys, he started his speech by quoting Eugene Debs, who ran for president of the United States 5 times as the Socialist Party of America candidate. He repeatedly attacked people in this. No, I know my socialists. I keep a close eye on them. I work here. So here's the thing. He went after everybody that he thinks is a problem. People who own things, people who have businesses. He said an interesting quote: "No problem too large for government to solve."
Or too small, important.
And so when you think of the world that way, that every problem, no matter how small or how large, is something for government to do, let me just decipher this for you. Tax increases as far as the eye can see, which means the people who need to provide jobs to the young people that you say need jobs are going to flee as quickly as they possibly can. I think this was a divisive speech, and he clearly sees the world in terms of the people who are oppressing you and the oppressed. And he said the oppressed are now in City Hall.
All right. Even Van Jones, who was sitting to the side of Scott Jennings, said, "Oh, I feel like his mask slipped a little bit. Like we got to see the truth of who this guy really is." Also, as I mentioned, I don't know that we're dealing with Republicans versus Democrats anymore. I think we're actually dealing with Republicans and socialists. But let me show you what I mean by that with another clip from CNN.
The story for tonight is actually that the Socialist Party is taking over the Democrat Party. And you know what? It was Andrew Cuomo. It was Kathy Hochul. It were the Democrats that were so afraid of their shadows, so afraid of the radical left. People like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez kept moving to satisfy them. And now they've been eaten alive. So this is a lesson for the Democrat Party. They should have fought for their party. They never fought for their party. They catered to the radical left. And now we're going to see, by the way, for people who think that they're voting for affordability here with Mamdani, a guy who believes in socialism, we're going to learn the hard way in New York City what socialism is. Your taxes will go up. And if you pay property taxes, you won't be able to afford to live in your home. And if you guess what, you rent, it's going to be passed on to you in the form of your rent. Mandates. Look, mandates, fees, regulations, surcharges. We've seen it in this state, in this city, under one-party rule for the last decade. It costs money. It gets passed on to you. So if you think you're going to get a free ride with Mamdani, you're going to learn the hard way.
That's why. All right. Now, I do want to say this. This does not mean that every New Yorker wanted Mamdani. This does not mean that every New Yorker is anti-white, that every New Yorker is pro-illegal immigrant, that every New Yorker is anti-Semitic or something like that. Only 12% of the city voted. So if anything, the people, the other, 88% that didn't go and vote, they are the ones that are going to have to live with the consequences of not casting a vote. So this was definitely the angriest people that wanted a change agent, which Mamdani will be for good or bad. Only time will tell. That's exactly what we're going to see here. Now, let me tell you what I think is going to happen in New York. A lot of people are going to be moving there. Why? Because they're going to get government handouts. Why do you think so many illegals were going to New York? Why do you think so many people sneaking into the country or even coming here illegal go there? They go there because they will tax the ones that work or have money and give it to the people that won't work and don't have money. They've already said that. In Mamdani's first speech, he said, "We will take care of the immigrant. We will be a city of immigrants, and we will make those that live here pay for it." So that's exactly what we're going to see. And my friend Jack Ciattarelli, he summed this up pretty well. Listen to what he had to say.
Well, Trace, look, we need to continue investing in infrastructure. Obviously, tonight was a big wake-up call for that. Turning point action is there. We're learning more from this. Number two, when you look at Mamdani in New York City, this model is going to continue. You're going to have the gimme grants that Democrats, of course, are pushing into this country, and they're going to look to have be electing those, and then they want more and more of this political violence.
All right, the gimme grants. Gimme, 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 right? You've got people living in $700 a night hotel rooms. They're not having to pay for that. They're going to be raising taxes on businesses, on property. How do they do that? They just do it. And then you can't afford to live there. And then those that rent, that think they're going to get a better deal, guess what? The landlord goes, I now have to raise rent. Or they do this, they freeze the rent, and then they go, I don't want to be a homeowner in New York anymore. And then they sell and they move out of state, and the cycle just gets worse. But listen to what Patrick Bet-David said. He said, oh, people are going to be moving to New York. Absolutely. But he'll tell you who he thinks it's going to be.
So now that Mamdani won New York City mayoral race, here's a question I got for you. Who do you think's moving to New York City? Who's actually moving? Not forget about the people that are moving out. Of 756,000 families are definitely thinking about moving out of New York City. No. Who's moving to New York City? You may say nobody. You're wrong. A lot of people will. But you know what type of people? Let's go through it together. You think job creators are moving to New York City? Probably not. You think investors are moving to New York City? Probably not. You think families who want safety for their kids and the criminals to be kept into prison are going to be going to New York City? No. You think people that are pro Second Amendment, safety, low taxes are going to be moving to New York City? No. But who will be moving to New York City? If you're a criminal, it's a great time to move to New York City. Think about it. He wants to let people out of prison. Guess what? I'm not telling you to move there, but it's a great policy. If you're somebody that doesn't want to work at all and you just want entitlement programs, this is a massive opportunity to move to New York City. Massive opportunity to move to New York City. If you're an illegal immigrant, are you kidding me? Like this is heaven for you. He will protect you. Move to New York City. He will protect you. He's for you. So I think New York City is about to have a net migration increase, not decrease. Everyone's thinking they're going to lose people. They're not going to lose people. It's about to increase. Let me tell you what type of people are going to move there. All of those people we just talked about. FYI, I'm Armenian and a Syrian. You know when Armenians left Iran or Lebanon or Armenia, where they moved to? Glendale. And we all moved because we felt safer there. You know what type of people are going to move to New York City? People who are democratic socialists, people who are Muslims. I would feel safe there if he's the mayor. And people who are wanting entitlement programs. This guy's been raised by a rich family. Mom made money, dad's made money, and entitled. It's kind of cool. So guess what? To all the criminals, those who want entitlement programs, and illegal immigrants, you officially have a great city to move to.
Wow. We will see how things go. It's going to be really, really interesting. All right. Now, Bank of America is now admitting that so many Americans already feel the US dollar is on the verge of dropping. Since the beginning of the year, it's already lost 10.7% of value. I believe President Trump is doing all that he can, but Congress is spending us into oblivion. Think about that. Every dollar you've saved, every paycheck where you've been paid, your retirement accounts, they all buy less stuff because of the US dollar going down. Now, this isn't a conspiracy theory. One of the largest banks in America, in plain English, is warning you the US dollar is in trouble. So you can trade and buy when it comes to the US dollar, but you need assets that go and grow. You need stuff that preserves wealth. This is why I'm a huge fan of gold and silver. Now, I want you to check out my partners at Monetary Gold. You can call them at 800-608-1770 or visit StephenLovesGold.com. Go do it right now. Protect your wealth. I'm optimistic for the future, but I'm also making sure to protect my hard-earned money, and I think you should too. Okay, let me give a little bit of levity here because this has been kind of a serious video. And I knew that he was going to win, but look at this. When he gets ready to give his victory speech, somebody hijacked the board behind him and literally put President Trump is your president. Watch this with me. It says Zoran and boom. Trump is your president. Now, most of them didn't notice, and it did get corrected quickly. But I thought, oh my gosh, isn't that great? Just before he goes on to give his victory speech, somebody hijacks the board and reminds everybody that Donald Trump is in charge. All right, last story for you. Over in California, we knew this would happen. Prop 50, which gives Democrats the ability to redraw the congressional map without an independent committee, has passed. Now, this is really interesting because polling data showed that 92% of Californians believed that the districts should be drawn by a bipartisan independent group. Yet 90% of those that voted for Gavin Newsom to redraw the state. So that is going to be redrawn. California will likely pick up 5 seats. The 5 that we picked up in Texas, that's now a moot point. So this is why President Trump is saying we've got to reopen the government. We've got to renegotiate on Obamacare to bring down the costs. And we may even have to get rid of the filibuster. So we'll see. A lot is going on in the United States of America right now. Okay, in Washington, D.C., House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan is demanding documents from Verizon and AT&T related to Special Counsel Jack Frost's secret Arctic frost investigation. The probe quietly obtained phone records of at least 10 Republican senators and 1 GOP congressman. Verizon handed over toll metadata for 8 senators after receiving subpoena. AT&T pushed back, but ultimately handed those over. Smith reportedly issued 197 subpoenas. The plan was to round everyone up and do a group trial and send all of these people to jail. This is worse than Watergate, yet the Democrat Party is pretending like it's not happening at all. Isn't that wild? Absolutely wild. All right, that's my update for today. I've got some great interviews coming out later and more big news. Let me know what you guys think. I try to bring you guys the truth. I don't try to sugarcoat it. When Trump is down in the polls, I tell you. When Trump is up in the polls, I tell you. When I think that somebody is going to win a seat, they're probably going to win a seat. Like, I don't know why people that use clickbait or cotton candy news to get viewers, I don't know why we continue to give them our allegiance. We want truth, good or bad. You have to build your life on what is true, not what is hope. You can't live on hopium, right? It's like I used to tell people when I was going through hard times. Despair I can live with. It's hope that's killing me, right? So anyway, I have a lot of hope. I believe that America is still heading in a right direction. Do not be shocked that New Jersey stayed blue. Do not be shocked that Virginia, who has been blue, resorted to going blue again. And don't be shocked that Mamdani, in the bluest city in America, won the blue vote, right? Don't be tricked. You guys are smarter than that. All right, I love you. If you could, give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, stay amazing, and I will see you on the next video.